The enduring charm of tiny romantic cottages lies in their ability to create magical, intimate spaces that feel both timeless and deeply personal. These enchanting small homes embrace the shabby chic aesthetic, a design approach that celebrates the beauty in imperfection through weathered finishes, vintage furnishings, and a soft, romantic color palette. What makes this style particularly suited to compact cottage living is its emphasis on character over perfection, allowing every nick, patina, and gently worn surface to contribute to the home's unique story rather than detract from a polished appearance.
Before we delve into our exploration, allow us to extend a warm welcome back to Amica Studio. For those joining us for the first time, we invite you to subscribe for more captivating insights into home and interior design inspiration.
Tiny romantic cottage ideas with shabby chic distressed wood and vintage furniture decor ideas. Tiny cottage decorating thrives on thoughtful curation, where each piece serves both functional and aesthetic purposes in these space-constrained environments. The beauty of shabby chic design for small cottages lies in its inherent flexibility, mixing distressed wood elements, vintage furniture finds, and handcrafted touches to create spaces that feel lovingly collected over time rather than instantly assembled. This approach not only creates visually rich interiors but also supports sustainability through repurposing and upcycling, giving new life to quality-built pieces from earlier eras that might otherwise be discarded. As we explore the world of tiny romantic cottages through the lens of shabby chic design, you'll discover practical approaches for creating spaces that maximize both function and charm despite limited square footage. From the thoughtful selection of space-efficient vintage furniture to the strategic use of distressed wood elements, these ideas demonstrate how even the smallest cottages can become enchanting retreats that nurture both practical needs and romantic sensibilities. Whether you're decorating a tiny vacation cottage, a compact guest house, or simply want to infuse your small living space with cottage-inspired charm, these suggestions will help you create interiors that feel both practical and magical. One. Shabby chic decor for tiny cottages. Small cottage decorating flourishes with shabby chic elements like whitewashed furniture, vintage textiles, and thoughtfully arranged collections that add personality without consuming precious space. The best tiny cottage designs incorporate vertical storage solutions with decorative appeal, such as distressed ladder shelves or wall-mounted vintage cabinets that keep necessities accessible while adding character. Shabby chic tiny cottage styling embraces a less is more approach where each carefully selected piece tells a story, from the gently weathered coffee table to the hand-embroidered cushions that invite relaxation and contemplation of simpler times. Every inch of a tiny cottage becomes a canvas for personal expression when adorned with thoughtfully curated shabby chic elements that tell your unique story through the language of vintage charm. Tiny cottage shabby chic ideas transform compact spaces into charming retreats that maximize both style and functionality without sacrificing the romantic aesthetic. Two. Creating cozy shabby chic living rooms. Tiny cottage living rooms benefit from multifunctional furniture pieces like slip-covered love seats in washable natural fabrics that offer comfortable seating while maintaining the light, airy aesthetic essential to making small spaces feel larger. Create intimate conversation areas with a pair of vintage armchairs reupholstered in complementary fabrics and positioned near natural light sources to maximize both functionality and the perception of space. Cottage-style living room design comes alive through layered lighting solutions, perhaps a delicate chandelier overhead, a repurposed vintage lamp on a side table, and candles in weathered holders, creating a warm atmosphere that transitions beautifully from day to evening gatherings. The magic of a shabby chic cottage living room lies in its ability to wrap visitors in a gentle embrace of comfort the moment they cross the threshold, making even the smallest space feel like a warm sanctuary from the outside world. Small cottage living room design achieves maximum impact through careful furniture placement that creates conversation-friendly spaces while maintaining essential pathways for movement. Three. Shabby chic dining rooms for small spaces. Transform tiny cottage dining areas with round pedestal tables painted in soft white or cream, their distressed edges revealing hints of wood beneath that add character without overwhelming compact spaces. Small space dining solutions often incorporate built-in banquette seating with storage underneath, dressed in slip-covered cushions with vintage-inspired fabrics that blend practicality with shabby chic charm. Cottage dining room design maximizes flexibility through expandable tables, wall-mounted drop-leaf surfaces, or vintage tea carts that can be repositioned as needed, allowing tiny spaces to accommodate everything from intimate breakfasts to occasional dinner gatherings. Even the tiniest dining nook can become the heart of cottage life when designed with shabby chic sensibilities that prioritize both function and the simple pleasure of gathering around beautiful, character-rich pieces. Space-saving dining solutions for small cottages prove that romantic mealtimes don't require sprawling spaces, just thoughtful design and character-rich furniture with appropriate proportions. Four. Shabby chic small bedroom ideas. Create serene shabby chic bedrooms by focusing on a statement headboard, perhaps a weathered antique door, a section of vintage iron fencing, or a simple wooden frame painted and distressed to perfection. Small cottage bedroom design benefits from raised furniture with visible floor space beneath, creating an illusion of more room, while vintage nightstands with drawers provide essential storage in compact footprints. The most inviting tiny cottage bedrooms layer textiles thoughtfully, perhaps a patchwork quilt or matelass coverlet, embroidered shams, and a single statement pillow, creating luxury through texture rather than quantity in limited spaces. A tiny cottage bedroom becomes a dreamy retreat when shabby chic principles transform limited square footage into a cocoon of soft textures, gentle colors, and meaningful vintage pieces that whisper stories of simpler times. Romantic cottage bedroom design transforms even the tiniest sleeping quarters into enchanting retreats through strategic furniture placement and carefully selected vintage-inspired textiles. Five. Vintage furniture ideas for tiny cottages. Petite vintage furniture pieces from the 1930s and 1940s often feature smaller proportions that work perfectly in today's tiny cottages while bringing authentic character impossible to replicate with new productions. Cottage-scale vintage finds like narrow washstands, compact secretaries, and slender side tables offer practical functionality, while their weathered patinas and detailed craftsmanship add depth to simple spaces. The best vintage furniture for small cottages balances delicate visual elements with sturdy construction, creating interiors that feel romantic and refined yet durable enough for everyday living. There's something undeniably magical about introducing a perfectly proportioned vintage piece into a tiny cottage space. It instantly adds a sense of history and authenticity that new furniture, regardless of quality, simply cannot replicate. Antique furniture for small spaces delivers authentic character and craftsmanship that mass-produced pieces cannot match, especially when selected for their space-efficient proportions. Six. Distressed wood furniture for small cottages. Whitewashed distressed wood furniture creates an airy, ethereal quality that helps tiny cottage spaces feel larger while adding textural interest that flat painted surfaces cannot achieve. Incorporate distressed wood elements strategically in small cottages, perhaps a weathered coffee table, a painted sideboard with gently worn edges, or open shelving with a time-worn patina. The authentic character of genuinely distressed wood furniture brings soul to tiny cottage interiors, creating visual anchors that draw the eye while their lighter finishes prevent them from overwhelming limited square footage. The gentle imperfections of distressed wood furniture create a visual poetry in tiny cottages, telling stories of time and touch that bring soul to spaces where every element matters. Shabby chic distressed furniture creates visual interest through authentic weathered finishes that add depth and dimension to tiny cottage interiors without overwhelming limited square footage. Seven. Mixing vintage and modern furniture for cottages. Create dynamic tiny cottage interiors by balancing ornate vintage pieces with clean-lined modern elements, perhaps pairing an antique carved headboard with simple contemporary bedside tables or surrounding a sleek dining table with mismatched vintage chairs. The most successful cottage-style design avoids overwhelming small spaces by limiting ornate vintage pieces to one or two statement items per room, allowing them to shine against simpler backgrounds. Modern meets vintage cottage spaces maintain a fresh, livable quality through thoughtful editing, where each piece earns its place through both functionality and beauty rather than filling spaces with unnecessary items. The artful juxtaposition of old and new creates a delightful tension in tiny cottage spaces, where vintage treasures gain fresh relevance and contemporary pieces acquire deeper meaning through their thoughtful pairing. Contemporary cottage-style furniture gains warmth and personality when thoughtfully paired with vintage pieces that bring history and handcrafted details to streamlined spaces. (8) Vintage upholstered furniture for cozy spaces. Transform vintage upholstered pieces for tiny cottages by selecting slimmer profiles like channel back chairs, dainty love seats, or petite wingbacks that offer comfortable seating without dominating limited floor plans. Vintage cottage furniture benefits from updated upholstery in performance fabrics that combine classic patterns like ticking stripes, subtle florals, or soft checks with modern durability, perfect for everyday use. The timeless appeal of well-chosen vintage upholstered pieces lies in their ability to create instant character and coziness in tiny cottage spaces, while their curved forms and detailed tailoring add visual interest that contemporary pieces often lack. Small cottage upholstery ideas focus on space-appropriate seating with vintage charm that offers both visual delight and practical comfort in limited square footage. (9) Romantic shabby chic living room ideas. Romantic cottage living rooms come alive through thoughtful lighting choices like crystal chandeliers installed at accessible heights, vintage table lamps with fabric shades, and candles placed strategically to create intimate atmosphere after sunset. Create inviting conversation areas with comfortable seating arranged to take advantage of focal points like vintage mantels, window views, or cherished furniture pieces that tell personal stories. The most enchanting shabby chic living spaces incorporate fresh flowers in repurposed containers, vintage photographs in mismatched frames, and handcrafted textiles that add personal touches impossible to replicate with mass-produced decor. Cozy cottage living room design creates magical ambience through layered lighting that transforms the space from practical daytime use to intimate evening gatherings. (10) Creating a romantic cottage bedroom. Transform tiny bedrooms into romantic retreats by focusing on luxurious bedding with vintage-inspired details like crocheted edges, delicate embroidery, or softly faded prints layered for visual and tactile richness. Romantic cottage bedroom design benefits from canopies created from simple fabric panels, antique lace curtains, or even repurposed architectural elements that frame the bed and create vertical interest. Create intimate atmosphere through thoughtfully placed lighting options, perhaps wall sconces with fabric shades, a small chandelier dimmed for evening ambience, or vintage bedside lamps, allowing for both practical illumination and romantic mood lighting. Shabby chic bedroom ideas for small spaces prioritize luxurious bedding and soft textiles that create sensory richness without requiring additional square footage. (11) Soft pastel tones for romantic cottages. Enhance the romantic atmosphere of tiny cottages with soft pastel wall colors like duck egg blue, ballet pink, or gentle lavender that expand visual space while creating a soothing backdrop for daily living. Layer complementary pastel tones throughout the space in vintage textiles, painted furniture pieces, and carefully chosen accessories for a cohesive look that maintains visual interest without overwhelming tiny spaces. Romantic color schemes for cottage interiors work best when balanced with crisp whites and natural elements like weathered wood, keeping the overall effect fresh and livable rather than overly sweet or precious. Best paint colors for small cottage interiors include soft pastel hues that visually expand tight spaces while creating the perfect backdrop for distressed wood furniture and vintage accessories. (12) Adding romantic lighting to cottage rooms. Install dimmer switches throughout tiny cottage spaces to transform the ambience from practical daytime illumination to soft evening glow with a simple adjustment. Cottage-style lighting benefits from mixed sources at different heights, chandeliers and pendants for ambient light, wall sconces for directional illumination, and table lamps for intimate pools of brightness that create depth in small rooms. The most enchanting cottage interiors feature unexpected lighting elements like repurposed vintage items converted to lamps, candle groupings on weathered trays, or delicate string lights woven through architectural features for magical evening settings. Vintage-inspired cottage lighting fixtures transform tiny spaces with ambient illumination that creates depth, dimension, and enchanting evening atmosphere beyond their decorative appeal. (13) Using distressed wood for cottage furniture. Authentic distressed wood furniture brings irreplaceable character to tiny cottages through natural aging processes that create unique patinas, color variations, and subtle imperfections across each surface. Create visual harmony in small cottages by selecting distressed wood pieces with similar finishes, perhaps all whitewashed, all weathered natural, or all painted in coordinated tones, allowing them to register as a collection rather than competing elements. The timeless appeal of quality distressed wood furniture lies in its ability to improve with age and use, developing deeper character over time while providing durable function perfect for the practical demands of cottage living. Authentic distressed wood pieces become focal points in tiny cottage design, offering character-rich surfaces that improve with age and use rather than deteriorating like mass-produced alternatives. (14) Rustic shabby chic wall decor for small cottages. Transform tiny cottage walls with architectural salvage pieces like weathered window frames, vintage shutters, or decorative woodwork that add dimension and history without requiring precious floor space. Create gallery arrangements using a mix of empty vintage frames, mirrors in different shapes, and meaningful photographs or artwork arranged in organic groupings that can expand over time. Small cottage wall decor benefits from three-dimensional elements like wall-mounted wooden shelves displaying cherished collections, vintage hooks holding practical items, or repurposed crates offering storage with rustic shabby chic style. Space-saving wall decor for tiny homes maximizes vertical real estate while adding personality and dimension to cottage interiors without consuming precious floor space. (15) Distressed wood shelving for cozy cottage spaces. Install floating distressed wood shelves to maximize vertical storage in tiny cottage spaces while adding architectural interest through their weathered surfaces and simple, space-efficient profiles. Cottage storage solutions shine when open shelving displays everyday essentials like ironstone dishes, vintage books, or glass canisters containing pantry items, transforming practical necessities into decorative elements. The most successful distressed wood shelving incorporates touches of detail that elevate simple designs, perhaps brackets with unexpected shapes, gently rounded edges, or subtle carving, adding character while maintaining the clean lines essential for small space function. Small cottage storage solutions with distressed wood shelving combine practical organization with decorative display opportunities that showcase personal collections and everyday essentials. 16. Reclaimed wood projects for shabby chic cottages. Create one-of-a-kind cottage features using reclaimed barn wood, vintage flooring, or salvaged architectural elements reimagined as headboards, dining tables, or built-in shelving units with history and character. DIY cottage projects using distressed wood often require minimal tools yet create maximum impact, perhaps simple floating shelves, picture frames with weathered patina, or coat racks from vintage molding. Small-scale reclaimed wood projects like serving trays, candle holders, or bathroom accessories offer accessible starting points for incorporating distressed elements into cottage spaces without requiring major construction skills or significant investment. DIY shabby chic projects for small cottages transform reclaimed materials into one-of-a-kind furnishings that tell personal stories while providing essential functionality in limited spaces. Conclusion. The enduring appeal of tiny romantic cottages with shabby chic distressed wood and vintage furniture lies not just in their aesthetic charm but in their ability to create deeply personal spaces that nurture both practical comfort and emotional well-being. These thoughtfully designed small homes demonstrate that square footage limitations need not restrict style or character. In fact, they often inspire more creative solutions and meaningful curation than larger spaces might demand. By embracing the principles of shabby chic design, with its celebration of weathered beauty and storied objects, tiny cottages become showcases of personal expression rather than simply scaled-down versions of conventional homes. As you implement these ideas in your own tiny cottage space, remember that authentic shabby chic design emerges from a genuine appreciation for imperfection and evolutionary change rather than contrived distressing or formulaic arrangements. Allow your space to develop organically as you discover meaningful vintage pieces, incorporate distressed wood elements that speak to you, and arrange your cottage to support the activities and relationships that matter most in your life. Through this thoughtful, personal approach to design, even the smallest cottage can become an enchanting sanctuary that nurtures both practical needs and romantic sensibilities, proving that limited square footage can inspire rather than restrict the creation of truly magical living spaces.